Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to episode 15 of my 1 versus 3 versus 3 Age of Wonders 3 playthrough series. In this series, I am playing against two separate teams of 3 Emperor AI per team, and I'm playing as the Halfling Dreadnought, Welby the Tinkerer. In our last episode, we began to assemble kind of a ragtag squad here in order to think about maybe sieging the city of Sassistan belonging to Colm the Lucky, who is one of our opponents here. He is a human warlord, and he's the first opponent of which we've actually gotten our eyes on one of their cities. So we've kind of been assembling a group here. We've got a squad composed of a couple of golems and then a few other units here along with a builder to help repair the machines. And then we've also got some reinforcements coming in the way of, as I kind of said, a ragtag group of sort of mismatched units coming in to provide some extra support. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to siege with the 12 units that we have there, but if we take a look, you can see that we actually have some pretty decent units guarding the city in the way of this war breed, and at least a trebuchet that can do some decent damage, and then basically just a number of ranged units as well as actually, yeah, these are all capable of range damage. So we should be able to take the city, but you never know. Things could go kind of awry. Maybe we may even want to send a squad up and take a peek at this this inn to see if we can recruit any extra units for the battle. That might be an option there as well. But in any case, we are prepping for a siege coming up very shortly. Now, before I dive into this episode, I did just want to give a couple of quick shout-outs to a few individuals who left some fantastic comments on the last episode. The first of those comments comes from Casper Eklund. Casper pointed out that in the last episode, I was kind of lamenting that I didn't have units that could tunnel in some of my stacks that are underground. Like, for example, with Holly, and this actually happened a few episodes back, but I had Holly over here, and I was lamenting that I couldn't tunnel my way through this dirt right here to get to the water. What Casper is pointing out is that the units to think about when it comes to tunneling are the Dwarven Prospector. Certain Goblin units are capable of it, like the Big Beetle, for example. And then also, the one that I should really kind of remember and not forget about is Builders. So Builders typically have the ability to tunnel as well. So that might actually be an option. If I do need a unit to tunnel, I might be able to get away with adding in a Builder to this stack, or having one go underground with another army. And then, of course, we also have our Untouchables. So we've been using this Untouchable to pretty decent effect here, and actually getting a lot of work out of him. So, again, just a kind of reminder there about units that do have tunneling. Dwarven Firstborn also does have that as well. Casper also wanted to point out that there is a mana node, and he's actually mentioned this before, and of course, in all the ruckus things, I've kind of forgotten about it, but there's this mana node here in the domain of our vassal city of Valok here, and it's probably still worth trying to convert this into a fire node. It would benefit the income from this vassal city, and then eventually if this becomes mine as well, it's going to provide benefit there as well. So good reminder there from Casper to make sure that I'm converting that when possible. Finally, or I guess not finally, but Casper had another comment here. Last episode I was talking about potentially starting to churn out some Juggernauts, and in particular maybe using Hard Thistle to do that. And what Casper's pointing out is that Juggernauts are a very, very expensive unit. And they're expensive in a couple of different ways. The one way that they're expensive is you actually have to produce an entire another structure just to build them. And it's a fairly expensive structure here, the industrial plant. You can see that it requires 200 gold and 300 mana. So it's not cheap to even make the structure required to produce them. And then the unit itself is quite expensive. And what Casper kind of is saying is that it may actually not be worth really focusing on producing a ton of Juggernauts, because the tier 3 units of the Dreadnought are so powerful. So our cannons here are extremely good, and as well as our flame tanks, they're very, very good. So I may be able to kind of get away with just pumping out tons of tier 3 units, rather than really focusing on the sort of the investment that it takes to really get a ton of Juggernauts going. Not to say that they won't come in handy, but the idea being that they may not be something I need to focus every city on producing. So, great comment there from Casper. Regarding research going forward, Casper suggested getting advanced seafaring out of the way just so that it's done. Then also focusing on Summon Siege Engine, which obviously provides a lot of benefit. And I agree with him there. I think those are great options. So I'm going to pursue those here in the next few turns, I'm sure. And then Casper also responded to my sort of call last episode. I had asked for a little bit of feedback regarding video titles and whether or not I should change the way that I title my episodes such that they're maybe more descriptive. Casper kind of indicated that I don't really need more descriptive titles, that they're already pretty good. The way I have things organized seems to be working well, and that as long as I have sort of my detailed episode description in the actual description tab, that should be sufficient. So big thank you to Casper for all the excellent comments, and also for responding to my call for input. John Calabro and Civ5 Addict also responded to my call for input on this issue, and both of them agreed that I don't really need more descriptive episode titles, that the way I'm doing things is okay. So again, thank you guys for the input. It's nice to know that the way I kind of have things set up seems to be working pretty well. Of course, maybe down the road I may still entertain changing it, but for now, I think I'll stick to kind of the way I've been doing things. So again, thank you for the input. And then Spencer Judd also left a comment here. If I were kind of thinking about maybe making some changes, Spencer pointed out that something I could also consider doing is potentially changing some of the thumbnails for my different episodes. If a particular event happens in a thumbnail, I could maybe add a little something onto the thumbnail to make it more descriptive of what's going on. So maybe if there's a siege, I could add some smoke and fire, or maybe if I create a special item, like I created the dominating chicken, I could add a chicken onto the thumbnail. Again, this is something that, maybe down the road I might actually start exploring, but I think for now I'm going to kind of keep the way I've been doing things, if that seems to be working well for everybody. So again, big thank you to everybody for the feedback and for the excellent comments there. Okay, so let's dive in here. We've got some work to do, and we've got some decisions to make. Now, in particular with this upcoming siege here, we've got this army moving in to assist, and we're going to be able to get them pretty much right up into the domain here. Now, what I'm actually thinking of doing is kind of what I had indicated there at the opening of the episode, which is if I send this stack up to this inn, I might be able to actually recruit a few extra units just to kind of tip the odds even more in my favor. I mean, I think we're already pretty good as we've got 12 units coming in, but we have to remember that they do have a wall, and they have a lot of ranged units who can inflict some damage. So let's send this stack up to the inn, and let's see, we could grab ourselves a big beetle, or we could just splurge on a few kind of expendable units here. And I think maybe that's the play here. Rather than spending all our money on the big beetle, it might be worth just having a few extra bodies. So maybe the Civic Guard and the Ice Scraper. That might actually be kind of the wise choice there. Now we'll send this stack up to grab that watchtower yet again. And then next turn, both stacks should be able, to get in there for the siege. So we're going to be in good shape. Now we'll think about this. Let's kind of do the rest of our turn here and figure out maybe if we want to spend the gold on that or not. But it is nice to know that we do have the option of a few extra units maybe joining us for this upcoming siege. Okay, we're going to go through our join offers here. So again, Valok would like to join, but we're going to hold off on that. Asyut has grown into a town. That's great. Expanding the domain a little bit, bringing this gold mine into the fold here. And we now have this Heart of the Tropics, which has come into our domain, which is part of why we now have 70 casting points, as opposed to the previous 60 that we had in previous turns. So that's fantastic. We've had Fula Zaire offering to join us. I'm very tempted to take this offer since we now have some units here, but may not be the wisest choice. What I could do actually is maybe send off one of these units, maybe the Musketeer, on down there to maybe go and join. Maybe we'll accept that offer in another turn or two. We'll kind of wait and see if we can stack the odds a little bit more in our favor for defense before we accept that offer. Now, Arundel here underground would like to join. Once again, we are going to hold off as we really don't have anything in the vicinity that's going to be of any use for defending the city. We'll use our little untouchable here to do some more digging. Rake in a little bit more extra gold. Always good. Okay, so now we've got some other units here that we have to decide what we're going to do. So you can see here we've got Pimpton, and he now has Divine Justicars since he is at level 11. meaning that his units are now protected from death. So we are not at peace with this draconian town. And you know what? It may actually be worth doing it. It's only 85 gold. Let's do it. And then we can maybe grab them as a vassal in a few turns. Again, 4 turns from now, we can recruit them as a vassal. And in the meantime, we can actually now proceed to this tomb. Clear this out. So let's do that. Ooh, you know, this won't be an easy battle. Thankfully, again, we don't have to worry about dying so much, but we will have to be a little bit cautious. Okay. So they're going to advance on us. Now, we have to remember that these Deathbringers do have Shadow Step, so we don't want to get anybody too up close in there if we don't need them to be. To that end, I think we'll leave Pimpton back here. We'll actually bestow Iron... maybe we'll do a Touch of Faith on the Flyer, actually. And then we can send our Flyer in to start dealing with the Deathbringer here. Excellent. Our Sun Guard can go work on the Reanimator. Now, our little Adventurer here can do a bit of damage. Soften him up a touch, and then we can send in our Naga Slither. We'll actually send them right in. We're going to be pretty aggressive now, since we have Divine Justicars. Okay, so they're dropping quite a few heals there, as you see. Alright, now, regrowth is benefiting our units tremendously in this one, as you can see. I think we may actually want to just kill off this Deathbringer just so that it's out of the way, so let's do that. Really, really do like these Naga units. We can kind of sauce the... Oh, and look at that, we got a critical, and that actually killed off the Deathbringer here. I was going to say we can give him a little sauce from the Adventurer and then get the finish with our Sun Guard, but we don't even need to do that. We can just use our Sun Guard to do that, and then that actually frees up our Flyer to step up here and get a finish, and then move in and do a little bit more work. Fantastic. And you know what? We can step up and do some healing. So let's just jump up and heal our Sun Guard because we can. Okay, taking a little bit of damage, nothing we can't handle. And we still have Bestow Iron Heart, so we can do a little bit more healing as well. Just kind of seeing who needs it. The Flyer could actually benefit, so let's get the Flyer in there. Step up and drop the heal. Fantastic. Do some big damage and then get the finish with our Sun Guard. Excellent work. Okay. So that's a tomb cleared out. Ooh, and look at this. A nice torso item with 3 defense. Solid chainmail of heroes. I will happily accept that. Very nice. And that's great for Pimpton. Just a little bit of extra beef to kind of make him a touch more capable, I guess. Now, let's take out this watchtower, and then it looks like we've got a spawning structure that can be up on the docket as well after that. So, let's do this, and then we can use Pimpton to clear it. Now, we'll try and recruit maybe the Tier 2 Tigran unit here if we can. Either that or maybe the Sun Guard. So we can go after this Prowler, perhaps. That might be a good one to try to convert. All right, let's do some damage here. Again, we don't have to be too cautious. We can kind of get pretty aggressive here. Step up and kill the Predator, and then blast the Sun Guard there. Speaking of Sun Guard, I guess we can throw ours up kind of like this. You know what, we'll even do that. And then as for Pimpton, he can kind of hang out back here. And I don't think... He does have a chance to apply bleeding, which isn't really going to do a whole lot, but... Let's see what happens here. Okay, he came after Pimpton there, and he's almost dead. So now, let's see. Can we get a conversion off? Only a 39% chance, so kind of low odds, but worth trying. Ooh, and we might be able to kill off. Very nice. These adventurers with their criticals are actually fantastic. That's huge. Now, let's step over here and do some flank damage to these Sun Guard. And then we can get the finish with our flyer. And then that allows us to actually step down and finish off the Prowler as well, thanks to that killing momentum. I know the Draconian Flyers aren't necessarily the most powerful Tier 3 racial unit, but I must say I really do like them quite a bit for their mobility and for killing momentum once they level up. I do quite like that. All right, and then we'll send our stack over here just to... We want to clear this out. Kind of get rid of that. And then I think we'll probably turn back up, grab these haste berries, maybe grab this watchtower and proceed further north. I think that's going to be the general game plan there, although there is a lost library right here. All right, so Pimpton is doing good work. I think with War Master Habby, rather than going underground, since we already have a hero down there, I think instead we will head over the mountains here, and we're going to head over to Valak, and then we can actually bring this into the fold, clear out some of these structures around here. I think that's going to be a good idea. Now, Casper had suggested making additional flame tanks here to clear out this Castle of the Lich King, which I think is a great idea. So I'm going to see if maybe I can manage that now that I have decent gold income here. Now in our throne, yeah, you know what? We can actually do that. Let's do a flame tank, I think. Because, yeah, we spent a few turns making some items. And now we've actually got the gold to kind of throw around. So let's do a flame tank there. I'm kind of tempted to start sending off this cannon because it doesn't really make sense to have it sitting around guarding the city. So maybe we'll... Ooh, but you know what? I don't want to do that just yet because we did get attacked kind of down this way. So I may want to hold off just for a little bit on that one. I should probably make like a tier 1 unit just to guard the city. You know what I could do is even send one of these guys down. I could send the spy drone perhaps. Let's do that. Send the spy drone down just to provide a unit there in the throne city. This cannon, on the other hand, can make its way kind of up this direction. You know what? I should have probably grabbed those haste berries, but that's okay. All right. So, yeah. War Master here can move on through. I suppose we should have maybe cleared out this gold mine, but that's all right. We can just move on through here, and I can't remember if these structures are cleared out or not. Maybe worth actually going down, clearing these out, clearing out this quarry, and then we can bring Valak into the fold here. Now, as for some of our other units that are moving around, we've got this group moving in to form kind of an army at Hard Thistle. We were going to kind of start building up a group to maybe head north, perhaps, or to go underground to reinforce Holly, but I think Holly is okay by herself. She's extremely powerful and has the ability to bring units into the fold with her conversion, so I think she's going to be okay. Now, the big question is, do I want to think about this Forbidden Sanctum, perhaps? I mean, if we take a look, we've got two beastly melee units here in the form of a Champion 1 Draconian Flyer and a Gold Medal Ogre. And then we've got kind of some other miscellaneous units here. A really powerful Adventurer who obviously has quite high morale, very high for good crit chances. Our Musketeer here, kind of the same idea. So, I don't know. I suppose what we could do is we could take this little guy and just go down and see what's in this Forbidden Sanctum. So maybe we'll do that. Whew, that's a little spicy. Let's take a look. So we've got a Shadow Stalker, a Succubus, which can seduce, so we have to watch out for that. And then we've got 4 assassins. Wow. Not to mention we're going to be mass cursed. So, yeah, that's actually a pretty tough battle. I could kind of see that one going poorly for me. Again, I mean, is Holly strong enough? Probably. But is that worth the risk? That's the big question. I'm not entirely sure. Again, between these two units, we can probably really dish out quite a lot of damage. But now Holly herself is pretty beefy with all of her armor and gear, so she's no slouch either. You know what? Oh, this is kind of a tough one. We could grab this, but that would impart a calamity, which I'm not interested in doing, or a cataclysm, I should say. Unfortunately, this little guy can't come along for the battle. Let's see what kind of odds it's going to give me. It's going to say probable victory. You know what? Let's do it. Let's roll the dice on this one. Let's give it a shot. I may come to regret this, but we're going to try it. Okay, so the succubus obviously is going to be able to seduce one of our units, so I think the antidote for that is going to be Bestow Iron Heart coming from Holly. So whichever unit goes in for the succubus, we're going to want to apply that to, I would say. So I think we will throw it on the ogre, perhaps. And have the ogre go in. There we go. And the ogre can step on up and try and do some work here on this succubus. We're just going to try and cripple them a little bit. There we go. That helps a little. Lowers their mobility slightly. Which actually is going to... I think that's going to pay some dividends for us here. Meanwhile, the assassin... We can really try and put the hurt on here with our ranged attacks. And then let's see, can we get the finish? Depending on the roll, we might be able to. Fantastic, and then we can throw ourselves in defense mode up there. Not a bad first turn there for us. Ouch, those assassin strikes just demoed a couple of our units, as you saw. So we lost our musketeer in one shot and our scoundrel in one shot, so yikes, that was very unpleasant. However, did we kill off one of their units here? Oh no, those are the bodies from the one that we killed before. So we can step our flyer up and more or less just kill this assassin without too much issue. I think what we'll do, though, is we'll step down, do some flank damage just to minimize the amount of damage that our flyer takes. Very nice. And then we can actually step over like this. Meanwhile, our ogre can step right up, beat the absolute heck out of this Tigran assassin. And now we still have this high elf assassin who we could try to convert if we wanted. I think maybe what we'll do, though, is we'll just kill off the Tigran. There we go. So now we've still got the Shadow Stalker to deal with. There's that assassin strike. Okay. Now, we have to do this. We actually have to be very careful because this Shadow Stalker is going to be able to do a pretty nasty amount of damage to us if we're not careful. We may just have to go for the kills and kind of not worry about conversions here, just for the sake of it. I suppose what we could do is step up like this and try. How much damage do we do with our... Ooh, not much, eh? Yeah, that's not ideal. Okay, let's step over here now. Can we... We got a 55% shot at it here. Let's try it. Nice, we got it. Okay. Fantastic. So now we're going to step up. We can do a bit of damage to that Shadow Stalker. And then it's going to be our flyer kind of having to go after him. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Shadow Stalker moves over to try to fight Holly. But we will see. Nope, going after my flyer. That's just fine by me. Okay, so now the question is, how do we do this now? I think maybe what we do is we move our assassin over like this. We move our little guy in, do a bit of damage there. We can drop a nice big heal on our flyer. And then I think we'll just go in with the flyer here and try and do some work. Fantastic. All right, and just like that, we were able to clear out that Forbidden Sanctum. Of course, all of our units came back thanks to Divine Justicars. And we actually ended up recruiting a High Elf Assassin, which, not too shabby. All in all, ooh, and look at this. We got Arachnid Horde. You know, this spell, although kind of a little wacky for a Dreadnought, actually may come in handy, right? That just summons baby spider units at the beginning of every combat round for 7 turns. So that could actually come in real handy for me. And of course, we got some extra casting points and some mana here. You know what? Not too shabby. I will take that. So now we're pretty much at our mana. Yeah, we're at our mana capacity, so we're doing well in that regard. And now we actually have enough casting points to throw down Fire Node if we wanted. So I may end up doing that. I'm going to kind of finish up a few other things this turn, and then I'll think about doing that one. Now, as for Holly, I guess we will just kind of head back north a little bit like that. This unit, of course, we're going to have to figure out what to do with, but I'm sure we can find something for that unit to do. And we're just going to do a bit more scouting with our little spy drone here. All right. So, very productive there with Holly. Boy, being able to clear those structures does make a tremendous difference when it comes to your income, because the rewards from that can really start to add up and make things a heck of a lot easier for you. So I'm very happy that we have Holly and Pimpton who are strong enough to really start clearing out some of the mid and sort of end game structures. I think that's making a huge difference already, and it's going to continue to make a big difference going forward. Now, as for these units, we now know that this belongs to, I believe, our Shadow Elf Rogue opponent, Quandria. So we're going to start kind of building up a bit of an army. We've got these units moving in to reinforce our stack that's already kind of in this area. So we'll bring them down just to kind of have them hang out here. And we can join those other units in with them. Now, we had these units moving up to join with Leo up there. Now, Leo does have a Dominate item that is going to be arriving in 4 turns. So that will allow him to hopefully start building an army for himself, because he's been making do with just a bunch of support units, quite frankly, up there. Now, how long will it take for these units to make it to Leo? 2 turns. Okay, well, let's start that process then. We'll start moving them up that way. And we do still have a structure spawning some scoundrels in the vicinity, and of course we have this structure as well, spawning units. So we've got some things we need to clear out eventually. Maybe we can use Leo to do some of that. Now, meanwhile, Welby has gone right over here, and he's about to head through this shadow gate, which is going to take him up to the surface here. And we've actually got this spy drone that can do a little bit of exploring for us here. Now, would you look at this? We've got a unit of Colm. So, fortunately, the spy drone is most likely going to die. But we've got Crimson Sunset, a human rogue. Interesting. I'm just looking at this hero to see if she has any kind of special capabilities here. I'm assuming she gets this Fell Horse as maybe a starting mount or something like that, hence her name. But, so yeah, there's one of Colm's heroes. So let's get Welby up here so he can start joining in the fight. Now the question is, do we want to maybe clear this out on our way there, or just kind of ignore it and make a beeline? I'm kind of inclined to maybe just ignore it. Although we could try and recruit one of these Archon archers, I suppose. Might not be such a bad idea. The only problem is this dense vegetation is kind of a pain to move through, as you can see. If we do that, I don't know if we're going to have enough then to get to the Shadow Gate. So it might want to just go straight for it. We could pop out, maybe clear out this Lost Library and grab this, kind of recruit some extra units, and then start building up a bit of an army to fight with Colm over here. Yeah, and we've made peace with this village, so they're eventually going to become our vassal. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go straight for it. There we are. Okay, and we also have this little unit here who we might as well send along with. We can have this unit basically just join in the party here with Welby. Alright. Now, we have some units here that we were moving into Hard Thistle. And you know what? This could actually free the cannon up to go and do something. Question is, what do we want to do with this cannon? I mean, we could send it up maybe to try and join in with Pimpton up there. Might not actually be such a bad idea. Yeah, you know, I don't hate that idea. It's not the worst thing. Now, we have to be careful. A unit could pop out of there, but I might just risk it and see if I can get the cannon kind of up there. Meanwhile, these units can guard the city for me. Alright. So far, so good. I'm quite happy with how things are progressing here. Things are looking pretty decent for us. Now, back to this situation. Do I want to drop a little bit of gold? Yes, but I don't want to buy the big beetle. I think what we'll do instead is we will recruit some of these kind of just low-level units just to provide a couple extra bodies for the eventual siege here. That's kind of my game plan. So that's going to just make things a touch easier for us. Now we'll send Leo up. He can grab this structure here. Yeah, let's do this battle for this fire node. It's going to make a huge difference once Leo has the ability to dominate, because that's going to dramatically improve his unit functionality, because right now we've been, again, kind of hampered by the fact that all we have are these support units that really haven't been able to do quite as much. Okay. Now, the question is, what do I want to do? I think what we'll do here is we'll actually Werepanther them for the health. Meanwhile, this Brew Brother, I think we might actually step up like this and do a Nourishing Meal there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to throw Phoenix Warrior on this Brew Brother. So Brew Brother's just tanking damage like crazy here, which is great. The Fire Wyvern we can pretty much kill off here with some cleavers, and then finish up attack here from Leo. That'll get the kill, no problem. Our Brew Brother here can either finish off the Hatchling or do some damage to the Nightmare. I think we will... You know what? We could probably step in with our Panther. Yeah, and get the kill there, no problem. So we can put some work in on the Nightmare. Ooh, and they... Of course, that has Lifesteal, which I forgot about. Thankfully, again, this unit does have Resurgence, so not an issue. Okay, yeah, and we kind of grouped up, unfortunately. That was maybe a little bit silly on my part. I think what we'll do is we'll drop a self-heal. We will step up like this with Leo. Turn the unit around, get the kill there. And then we'll send in our Dire Panther to kill off the Flamer. Very nice. Alright. Now we've got some Shadow Elf units here that are probably going to be a little bit strong for us. I think maybe instead we're just going to kind of hang out. We can upgrade our hero with some changes here. Let's do Defense Command. I think that's going to make a big difference. We could also grab Toughness for Leo himself, but I would prefer to give my units a little bit more defense, so let's do that. Yeah, that's pretty nice, actually. Alright. Now, as for what to do with him, I mean, we could just keep exploring, or we could kind of wait for those other units to join in with us. Again, we want to eventually clear this out, because this is spawning additional units, which obviously we want to get rid of. Could go check out the water here. Let's just kind of take a peek up here and see what we can see. Okay, so just some additional structures to clear out. Got a Celestial Pool, item rack. So definitely things we can do once we're a little bit stronger. Now let's start thinking about production. So obviously we don't have a ton of gold left. So let's go to our most important cities, which is probably going to be our throne, which is already making a flame tank. And we have Hard Thistle, which is doing a Master's Guild. So that's already kind of decided. Beb Jun is probably our next best one, which is going to... It's now working on cannons, which is great. That's going to aid the siege effort, kind of, because we're sending cannons up that way. So, yeah, let's jump back to our main Shadow Elf cities here. Think about kind of how best to continue developing them. So, we've got some options. It would be great to get Ripura up over the 100 hurdle here with production income. So maybe a siege workshop. That's going to use up pretty much all of our remaining gold, however, if we do that. But that might actually be worth it just because. And then down here, we're working on a Flow Rock Citadel, in Rakelen. Now, Yargan, unfortunately, that means it's going to have to just continue with merchandise for now. Yargan is definitely going to come under attack from some elemental units soon, I'm sure, from this particular structure that are going to come across the water and give us problems. So we're going to need to maybe reinforce it in the near future. Our Tigran cities, we're just going to merchandise both of them here. Bahas, same story. Alright, now for this stack, you know what? We actually can move up a little bit. Oops. Let's go back to them, and then we'll actually do this. There we go. Now these little guys here, we'll just leave them as they are. They may come under attack from these roaming units. We'll have to see. And this stack here, we're going to just leave them, I think, on the watchtower. Again, they can make it there in a single turn, so I think they'll be fine. We'll just keep them there to give us the extra vision. All right, now Holly has a little bit of movement left. Unfortunately, this little guy's kind of getting in the way. Ooh, you know what? We could go up and try and recruit ourselves an Ogre or an Earth Elemental. That would be really great. We could definitely go for that. You know what? Let's... I guess we'll just hang out. I was going to say we could move some of our units, but I think we'll just leave it as it is. Alright, so now let's think about spellcasting. So we've got some options here. We've got Spy Drone. Could do the Fire Node now, which might actually be a good idea. I think that's probably going to be what I do here. So we will take care of this. Very nice. So that improved our income just a little bit more mana. And then if we get this in our control, that's just one less thing we have to worry about. In terms of starting to cast another spell, maybe a Hellhound. Could start working on one. It's not really going to matter because unfortunately 6 casting points, it's not enough to really make a huge difference in casting it, but hey, let's start working on it now. Alright, so we will end our turn there. Now, again, one of the big questions is going to be, are we going to come under any kind of attack? And is Colm going to be able to rally some forces here to defend his city? I suspect he's going to summon another Civic Guard, probably, or produce something in the city here. But we'll have to see. Because this could get a little ugly if we're not careful. I don't think we've really encountered anything from Camille here yet. So far, our encounters have been with Colm, the human warlord. We've had units of Galendil siege our throne city, and then we've peeked at the city belonging to Quandria, the Shadow Elf rogue. So those are... Ooh, there, I got another Warbreed. Okay, so we're probably going to be killed by this cheetah, unfortunately. Well, we'll do it manually. Not that it's going to make much of a difference here. This unit's going to kill us, I think, pretty much no matter what we do, more or less. Yeah, there's the... Yeah, and even with Explosive Death, not enough to really get the kill. Now, I'm curious. I wonder if the... I don't think that Warlord would have the spell up yet. I should actually probably have looked at this a while ago. Yeah, okay, he doesn't have his endgame spell up. I just... Seeing that cheetah was a gold medal made me kind of think, oh, wait a minute, does he have that endgame spell? And no, he does not. Thank goodness. Because that can get pretty nasty once that spell is in play. So unfortunately now we have another Warbreed guarding the city. So I'm actually very glad that I have these extra units. And you know what? Ooh, and there's another unit. So he grabbed another Civic Guard. We're in pretty tough here. I don't know if we're going to have enough to be able to siege the city and win. I mean, hell, we can give it a shot. We can definitely try. You know, I think our golems are pretty tough. But these Warbreeds with their regrowth are going to be quite the challenge. Not to mention, I'm sure he's going to throw some spells at me. I wouldn't be surprised. The city does have a bell tower, which will add to some extra damage we're going to take. And of course, excuse me, Of course, we don't have a hero leading anything in that area, so... Now, the cannon that we have on its way up there, it won't be able to assist for another probably 2 or 3 turns by the time it makes it through where it's going. So I think we're going to kind of have to just go with what we've got up here. I suppose we could, if we have enough gold here, we could go back and buy that Goblin Big Beetle, perhaps. Try and turn the tide with a strong tier 3 unit. Although I don't know if that's the best usage of my gold, quite frankly. The one nice thing, that Big Beetle does have, I think, Demolisher, which would make it a little easier to get through the walls and the gate. Oh, and look at this. Yeah, that's what I was a little afraid of. So we've got some roaming units here threatening our Musketeer. Unfortunately, the Shadow Stalker does have a ranged attack, which means that I'm not even going to try. We're just going to, unfortunately, lose our unit there. At least we got 1 kill. Okay, so they tried to disjunct our Suppressed Nature and thankfully failed. We've had a number of items arrive, so let's go take a look at that. Alright, so we had a melee item show up here for Pimpton, which is good for him. Another one show up, a mount, in this case show up for Leo. So now he has 100% fire protection thanks to his innate sun shield and the fell horse that he's riding. So that's fantastic for him. And then we had another item show up, which is the crossbow here for Pimpton. Let's see if we have sidearms now, which means that our cavalry units... Ooh, and look at this. Ooh, now wouldn't it be amazing if we could get the Feathered Serpent on our side? I don't think... Yeah, it doesn't have any kind of mind control immunity, so we might be able to get a hold of this thing. That would be amazing if we could do that. The only problem is now that it's right next to it. I think if we try that battle, I think it pulls both stacks in, which would make that pretty tough for us. Suppose we could add the Hellhound to maybe try and even the odds a touch, but anyway, we'll think about this later. Let's see what else we got going. So yeah, sidearms is done. So that's actually going to impact, for example, our units. We have a couple of cavalry here in the Shadow Realm. So now if we look, they now have Fire Pistol as an ability, which is pretty cool. Just kind of makes them a little bit more versatile, which is never a bad thing. Gives them a range damage option. So yeah, we're just going to make ourselves a 6-unit stack here, and then we can do some work with that. So again, we've had join offers. Erndal has a quest for us. And the Undead Scourge. Again, we don't really have anything in the area, so I'm going to ignore that quest. Do a little bit of scouting while we're still down here, I guess. Little spy drone just kind of doing some scouting. We'll continue digging here for some extra gold because we can. There we go, making that extra income. Now, we have Holly and we have some of our other units here that we can kind of figure out what to do with. So, yeah, with Holly, let's head up here and try for this Ogre or one of these Earth Elementals to recruit. Probably the Ogre if possible. Grab another strong tier 3 unit. Let's do it. Let's see if we can maybe get a curse off on him. Kind of make us have a little bit better odds. But, let's see. Nice, very nice. So that's going to improve our odds of getting this Ogre substantially. Okay, and they're not going to move yet, so that gives us a chance to do some healing. Our Ogre kind of needs it because our Ogre is in sort of rough shape. Oh yeah, and I guess our heroes all get Fire Pistol thanks to being cavalry units as well, so that's kind of cool. Alright, our Flyer is going to be our Vanguard. We've got this Scoundrel who can kind of provide some assistance. And the Ogre himself can kind of move on up as well. So we just have to watch out that that ogre doesn't end up kind of suiciding itself on one of my units, basically. Okay. So these earth elementals are actually going to be a bit of a pain in the butt just because they've got physical protection. Fantastic. Okay, now we might be able to get the kill here. Excellent. That's going to open us up for a little bit more damage here. Excellent. Can move up and give this obsidian wyvern a piece of our mind here. Let's do that. Very nice. That killed them. Now our little guys can move up as well, but let's see if maybe we can try for this conversion. 60%, pretty good chance. Very nice. Very nice. And you know what? I didn't even think about it. This ogre was actually in defense mode when we did that, so wasn't actually the smartest move on our part. I should have maybe waited until it had attacked somebody. That would have improved my odds of success. But hey, it worked out, so I'm not gonna second guess it. Oh, and of course I forgot that these units have regrowth. Just gonna come into play, I think. Oh, that's right. I don't think they actually get regrowth until they evolve, now that I think about it. Okay, so yeah, some of our units have died here, it looks like. Again, doesn't really matter. The beauty of Divine Justicars yet again. We might as well go in and drop a heal on one of our units that really needs it. Maybe our ogre could use a little help. And then we can get the finish with our new convert. Fantastic. Okay, so now we've got ourselves another beefy tier 3 unit. Quite happy about that. Not to mention we got ourselves a short bow that also provides razor projectiles, so I'll take that reward. And do we already have... Oh, no, we have razor projectiles with... I think I'll actually move this... Yeah, there we go. We already have razor projectiles, I think, with Pimpton, if I remember right. But now Holly has them, too. So that's excellent. This ogre's going to come in handy, I'm sure. This little guy. Okay, so this is a dead end over here. You know what, we could start building up kind of a companion stack here, actually. Maybe not the worst idea. There we go. Because we're going to probably might bump the Draconian Scoundrel out of this stack and add in the Ogre and just kind of start creating a bit of a Doom stack for us here. Alright. So yeah, underground, things are going well. Another level up here for Holly, which is great. Let's see. Power of the Word. Attempts to immobilize all enemy units for 2 turns. That's not bad. We could just give her some more casting points, actually, which might be kind of the good move there, and I think that's what we'll do. Alright. So, that's going to take care of the underground. Now, let's focus back on... Yeah, here we go. So, with Welby, let's try and clear out this lost library and see if maybe we can dominate somebody. Yeah, this won't be an easy battle. I mean, we've got this Evangelist. We could try and dominate one of the apprentice unit, I should say, or the White Witch, or the Mystic. So let's give that a shot. We'll have to be careful in this one. Don't want to do anything stupid here and end up taking some unnecessary losses. Throw Guarded by Flame on our Pony Rider here. Pony Rider's going to be, again, sort of the frontline unit for sure. Let's see if we can get him to use up their heal undead with that little shot. Do a Dragon Ancestry on our Draconian unit. There we go. Used up that heal undead. We dodged the convert thanks to our lucky. Very nice. Okay, that worked out really well. Brew Brother can step up and do some horrendous damage there to this Evangelist, who is now easy to kill with our Elder. So let's do that. Very nice. Alright, so that takes care of kind of the main threat, really, I would say. So now we've got, which unit do we want to try to convert? We've got the Orc Apprentice, Tigran Mystic, Reanimator we can't convert, or the White Witch. White Witch wouldn't be so bad with Frozen Flames, but I also wouldn't mind the Apprentice. Dispel Magic's kind of useful. Let's see, what are our odds here if we charge in for the Apprentice? Not bad, actually, not bad. 65% chance. So, why don't we charge in for the Reanimator here? Very nice. And my only hesitation, if I send Welby kind of right up the gut in there, all gung-ho, well, I have to be careful. Now, if we send our Blight Doctor in and weaken the Apprentice, and then go in for the Dominate, 70% chance. Oh, and it didn't work. That sucks. Welby's in a bit of danger here. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me now. Let's see what happens. Yeah, and there's that. They stepped off and did some work on me. Oh, thankfully Lucky is just keeping me in the game here. No problem. Really didn't take much damage at all. Now, Dominate, you can actually use it again in battle. So maybe we try and get the White Witch in a net for the time being here so we can drag this battle out a little bit longer. Go off the Mystic, and then let's try for a netting on the White Witch here. Let's see if we can do it. Very nice. Okay, that's going to give us a couple extra turns here. Unfortunately, I don't... Oh, okay, nice. We can actually use Weaken again, so get our Blight Doctor up in there. So now, yeah, Dominate. We're just going to wait for Dominate to be usable again. We'll weaken the White Witch for 5 turns, which is going to make it easier to control them. We're just going to get all of our units here up in there. And we'll actually use Nourishing Meal real quick on Welby, because he took some damage there. So now, if we look at Welby, again, we got to wait a couple more turns. Throw Net's going to be unavailable, too. Alright, so now we have a turn where can't really do much with them, unfortunately. So we may have to just kill them. Yeah, maybe let's just kill them. Ooh, and they're immolated too. They're weakened, immolated. They'd be so easy to dominate, but we have to wait a few more turns. So we don't really have any other means of immobilizing them, so let's just kill them. Blight Doctor could use some experience. Very nice. Alright, let's see if we get something cool as a reward. Flashbang? You know what? That's not bad. I'll take it. A little bit extra knowledge here. Alright, so now we can head up and go for this inn, which is going to be good for us to clear out. Maybe we can either buy some units or convert some units here. So we'll use Welby. We'll engage this battle. Now, we have to be careful. There's a ton of cavalry here. So mobility is going to be high. We don't want to get, flanked or have them pop up behind us and inflict all kinds of punishments. So our Pony Rider is going to be our primary Vanguard unit here for this battle. That is for sure. There we go. Alright, let's try and tie up this Bond Huntress, perhaps. Yeah, we can charge in there and put some work in. Try for the kill, even. Very nice. That's huge. Makes things a lot easier for us. Our Brew Brother can step right up like this. Try and guard our Elder just a touch. Okay, just ganging up on my Pony Rider. That's just fine. Holy cow, we are getting lucky like crazy. That just saved us a ton of damage. Very, very good. Big, big damage there. We can get the kill, no problem at all. Actually, let's go after the Prowler. Excellent. Alright, so now let's try for a Dominate here. Only a 45% chance, which unfortunately is kind of low. Maybe should have used the Blight Doctor to throw a Weaken. Alright, we got another kill there. Excellent. Tigran Shredder, we can light up for some damage. Fortunately, not quite the kill. Now, let's see. Can we get the Dominate? Come on, Dominate. Ah, maybe what I should have done is actually tried for the Throw Net to immobilize them, and then I could have used Weaken next turn. Oh well, though. Let's just get the kill. Excellent. Ouch. Taking some damage there. That wasn't too fun. Drop a nice big self-heal there. And I think maybe we'll just move Welby on over and blast him with my little pistol here. Excellent. Suppose I could use the Blight Doctor to weaken him first for some extra experience, but that's alright. Ooh, and look at this. We could get ourselves a Dwarven Firstborn for 330 gold, which is obviously quite expensive, but, you know, that wouldn't be so bad because we really don't have any tier 3 units in this stack. I will admit that is tempting. That is quite tempting to actually just purchase this Firstborn. You know what? We'll see. We'll hold off and we'll kind of see what's going on. As for a level up, rapid reload again would be useful if we end up getting any cannons or anything in his stack. I think maybe we might just save the points, honestly. Not really sure. We already have Throw Net from an item, so... you know what? Let's just beef up his stats a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So yeah, I'll think about that and decide if I maybe want to consider spending my gold in that way. So we do have this situation over here. Obviously, I would love to summon this Hellhound to aid these forces here in this upcoming siege, which unfortunately I don't think is going to go very well given what we've got guarding the city now. We've got another Warbreed, so that's 2 big beefy tier 3 melee units. We're going to pose a real problem for me. Now, were I to jump back, spend some gold, I could grab that Goblin tier 3 unit, cavalry. Honestly, might be worth it. Might be worth it. I kind of hate it. I hate spending the gold, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. We're going to add him in there. Now we're going to assemble our forces. So we just got to make sure we do this right. So we want to have 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then we can attack there. I think is how we'll do it. Alternatively, we could go 1 here, 1 here. Yeah. So we're going to want this army down here. And then this stack in like this. And this stack here. And that's going to be how we're going to do it. So, oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. This may actually not go very well for us here. It's saying closely matched, and you know what? I agree. I really don't think we've got a great chance of winning this battle. Now, we do have a few spells we can use, I think. Let me back out of this for a second. Let's look at our spell book real quick. So what kind of spells do we have for in battle? Now, this is where Arachnid Horde would come in handy. The only problem is it costs 40 casting points, which means we don't have enough casting points to do it because it's going to cost double since we're not there. Which is really unfortunate. Flashbang, we could use that to try and blind some of the ranged units to at least kind of give us a chance to get in there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at this point, you know, if we wait to do this battle, he's just going to keep building better units. So I think we're going to roll the dice on this one. And again, this may end up being a horrendous decision. I have no idea. We're going to try it, though. Again, I'm already kind of regretting it, but we're going to do it. One point of good news here is that the wall is a... Ooh, and there's a banish on my spy drone. So the one good thing is that this is a wooden gate, which means it's going to be a heck of a lot easier for our units to make their way through it. So let's get our big beetle over here. We're just going to kind of loop these units around and try and get them in behind the walls to do some work. Now, our beefiest units are going to be our golems here, and our builder can kind of provide support for those units with the healing capability there that they provide. Boy, this is not going to be easy. I mean, okay, if I send my golems up the gut here, they're going to take all kinds of range. I mean, look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ranged units that can just inflict all kinds of nasty punishment on me. The one good thing is that we are reinforced, which helps us against range attacks, but that's not going to matter with just the sheer volume that they're going to be able to bring to bear on me. So I guess we will do it. I'm gonna... Oh, this is already very unpleasant. I am not very optimistic about this. I hate to say it. All right, and our engineer can step up. Ooh, I probably moved the engineer a little too far in. Meanwhile, you know what? I do want these units to move up along this way, just to kind of try and draw some of the attention over in this direction, I think. I want to keep the forces kind of split up as much as I think I can. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. Ooh, and I should have maybe cast a spell, but... Shout of Intimidation. I think they tried it on my... I'm not even sure what unit they tried it on. Thankfully, we're just... Yeah, there we go. So that reinforced is coming in handy, actually, quite a lot. We did a pretty good job there of tanking that damage. Oh, they used it on the builder. Interesting choice. Okay, so our golem's going to just keep moving in. Now, I think we can attack the walls. Yeah, we have wall crushing, so that's going to be good. Now, here we go. We can demolish this wall. You know what? Let's do it. Let's just break this wall right here. And then we can get our little units into the walls, which is just going to help a little bit with kind of what's going on. Our musketeers can step on up this way as well. Now, our golem could step back, get a little heal, and then go forward again, which maybe isn't so bad. Yeah, there we go. Then we can step them right up the middle here. Light Doctor's providing kind of a little bit of range support for our golems. Now, we do have our blunderbuss shot, which is kind of nice. That we want to take advantage of. So let's keep our engineers in the fight by bringing them around that way. Now, meanwhile, all of these units here, we need to think about how we want to employ them. I think I'm going to send my skewer in as a suicide there just to try and draw the fire. Meanwhile, I could get my prowler up on the wall, but of course, once I do that, the prowler's just going to get ganged up on by damage here. Let's start lighting up the Civic Guard, I suppose. Do a little bit of damage there. Yeah, you know what? Let's put the Prowler on the wall. I mean, I don't think it's going to make a difference. We're going to get killed pretty good over here, I suspect. Now, in terms of spells, what would be the most beneficial for me? Probably maybe some damage spells wouldn't be so terrible. Fire Halo, I guess, could be kind of useful maybe on one of my units just for the extra fire damage, but none of these units are really doing fire damage to me, so the protection aspect isn't really that important. Flashbang, again, can blind a unit, which is really useful, but not really doing a ton of damage, per se. How much damage does the Fireball do? Actually, pretty decent amount. You know what? We could start working on the Trebuchet just to reduce damage from that, I guess. Does have fire weakness, of course, which is why I'm thinking about doing that. One of these archers we could actually put in quite a bit of work on. Of course, doing it to the Warbreed is kind of a waste because the Warbreeds have regrowth. You could also use the Fireball to actually break the gate. Isn't the worst. You know what? Maybe we do that. We could blast this wall and allow our troops to get inside quicker. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Again, maybe not the best idea ever, but... Alright, let's see what happens here. Okay, so they tried to throw a net. Ooh, look at that. We're just taking all kinds of abuse. Nice. They're doing their job. Those little skewers are tanking that damage pretty well. Okay. This actually is great. Now the inside portion here is kind of opened up so that our golems can move in and demolish the wall and get inside. Now, these guys here are at a disadvantage because they're on the wall, but they can get the kill at least. Excellent. There we go. This skewer can continue to kind of draw the fire of these other units. Same with this one. Musketeer, we can step on back just a touch and do reload. Now, our big beetle, probably want to get right up in there, I'm thinking. So, first things first, though, let's try for a freeze. Okay, freeze wasn't successful. Let's do a little bit of range damage there. Just make this easier when we get inside. You know what, we could even blast our pistol once we get in there. So let's see, if we go up like this, that's not going to be enough to get the kill, so let's just do this. There we go. Alright, so we are inside the walls now, which is great. Alright, now let's go demolish this. Excellent, and then we can finish it off. Alright, we've got a path in, so now we can get inside. We're going to jump our Blight Doctor up. Musketeer can actually move on over as well. And our Builder's going to stick with our Golems to try to keep them alive as much as possible. And our Engineer can actually step on up. Go for a blind here just for... Yeah, why not? It's not going to matter. I mean, they could... actually, no, that is good, because if they want to shoot me now, they have to come into melee range. Not that that makes a huge difference or anything for me, but... Alright, now, do we want to throw another spell in here? We could fireball something, if we were really feeling like it. You know, kill off one of these archers, perhaps. Actually, you know what? Going after this crossbowman might not be such a bad idea. And again, we've got the trebuchet over here. I think we'll hold off. That may be a bad decision, but we'll see. Ouch. Okay. That Warbreed is nasty. Oh, nice. Okay, and look at this. This Warbreed has come out to fight us here. Now, do we have Guardbreaker, or does he have Guardbreaker? We have Guardbreaker, so that's actually good for us. Now we can gang up on this Warbreed and beat the ever-loving crap out of him, which is great. Let's throw a weaken on him and just really make him as susceptible to damage as possible. So yeah, we're going to work on that one, but in the meantime here, we can try our darndest to freeze this one. Nice, we did it! Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, now we got to take advantage of this and do as much damage as possible in the meantime. What does our blunderbuss shot do? Oh, it is... Okay, it's affected by the obstruction. That's what I was checking there. Okay. That's kind of unfortunate. But getting that freeze is huge. That's so, so good. Alright. Now, out here... Okay, so if we... You know what? Let's just use our golem here and just put the work in on him. Nice. Look at that. We did some big, big damage. You know what? We can actually step up our musketeer here. Probably get the kill. Nice. And that actually saved this golem to allow him to go in and start working on the civic guard. So let's go up and do that. Fantastic. Okay. Now we're going to drop a nice big heal on our other golem. So that's one Warbreed down, and the other one is frozen currently. Now, if we were to hit him with a fireball, would that get the kill? Ugh, not quite. Not quite, so I don't think we will. This frozen, I think, lasts 2 turns, so we're actually okay in that regard. Now, we did lose our Prowler over here, which, again, kind of to be expected. We weren't really, truly expecting to get over the wall with this group over here. This was mostly a diversionary tactic. Was really kind of my intention with these guys. So, yeah, I'm not really expecting much out of this group. Now, we still got a lot of ranged units that we're going to have to deal with. Thankfully, our Golem with our Builder should be able to kind of whittle them down. So, now, do we want to throw a Fireball? Warbreed is an option, but he is frozen, so I think it's going to be okay. We could start working on some of these archers over here. But I think we're going to be all right. Maybe I'm a little bit optimistic. That's what's happening. Okay, so our units are getting blasted. Okay, so yeah, we're getting shredded over there. Again, not entirely unexpected, really. Alright, so can we get the kill or be very close? Oh, fantastic. Okay, now that that Warbreed is dead, it's mostly just kind of clean up here on these other units that are left. So, let's see if we... Now, if we were to move our Builder just for a second and step up with our Blight Doctor, you know what? We actually have a pretty reasonable chance of just getting the kill here. Let's try it. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. That is fantastic. So, we're going to do another heal on this Golem here. We're going to get him inside the walls. This little Musketeer, step him off just a bit. Reload him. Now we want these units in the wall ASAP to get them out of the range of these attacks that are blasting us from the bell here, bell tower. This Musketeer is going to die, so we'll just send him in to do as much damage as he can before he drops. Ice Scraper's just going to chill. Civic Guard's going to chill. Ouch. That was somewhat unpleasant. Oh no, I hope they don't kill my Builder. Now we got to keep that Builder alive because he's the one keeping the... Oh, I didn't realize that Golem was ensnared in a net. I wouldn't have moved this guy up there had I known that. Okay. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. That's... Can we dispel that? Oh, we can't. Okay. Dang it. So that actually leaves my Builder still kind of exposed, which isn't good. Didn't notice that. That was on me there. I really was not paying close enough attention to that. Alright, so we'll bring our Big Beetle over. Again, our Big Beetle's not in great shape. At least our units are able to get in the walls here. So we're in good shape. It's just that we need this Golem to be able to move. That's the only issue. Because this Builder is just going to keep getting harassed with range damage. You know what? Maybe what we even do is we actually put the Golem like that. We stick the Builder in the walls just to provide some protection. And then we can do our heal from there. Yeah, that's great. Meanwhile, our other units can just kind of wait around until they have a pathway in. Okay, not ideal, but we're making do. Now, this is a game where do we want to throw something on these units? So let's see, what are we up against? We're up against 1 crossbowman, trebuchet, and 2 archers. Now, the crossbowman here, if we were to hit him and get maximum rolls, we would do 21 damage, which isn't enough to get the kill. So we're not going to worry about it. God, that bell tower is just killing off my Builder there, who's really on his last legs. He's done his job, though. He's maintaining these golems, which is exactly what he needed to do. Alright, so now we're just moving our golems in. I'm actually going to maybe just hide my Builder back here. Yeah, we can get the Blight Doctor inside, so let's do that. Blight Doctor's going to come in handy, I think. Our Big Beetle, unfortunately, is going to be susceptible to a trebuchet shot, which isn't going to be great. But our other units can all kind of move on over. So yeah, it's going to mostly be the golems that are going to have to do the work here, I think. These guys can come on over here. I'm going to actually park him here in case he gets hit by the bell tower. I mean, he will get hit by it. Otherwise, he'd hit the Blight Doctor as well. Alright, so that's going to do it. Yeah, there it is. Okay, that's what I was expecting. I figured that that would kill off my unit, but that's okay. Again, we were sort of anticipating that to happen. The golem here is going to step right up and just start beating the crap out of these archers. And we're going to actually run the builder off just so he doesn't die. I really don't want him to go down. Meanwhile, our little other units here can step on up. Let's go for a freeze on those archers. No such luck. A little bit of damage here, why not? Civic Guard can step up. Engineer can step up here. Alright, let's see what happens. I'm blasting my golems who are just tanking it like absolute champs. Very, very nice on their part. Yeah, let's step up and give this trebuchet some damage. Very nice. Beat the crap out of these archers with our golems. Step up here. Try for a freeze. No such luck. Yeah, we should be able to get the kill. Excellent. No such luck with range there. We'll keep our builder over there just so he's out of the way. Alright, so we did it. We did it. We actually successfully sieged the city. Again, it was, you know, that was a difficult battle. I know I had the numeric advantage, but he had in many ways better units, and he also had the advantage of the city and the wall. So I'm extremely happy with the outcome there. Very, very happy. These two golems in particular really came through and did what they needed to do. So that's going to allow us to step right on in, and there we go. We've taken Colm City from him. So we've officially dealt the first major blow of this game to one of our opponents in the means of actually taking one of their cities. I guess if you want to say that we've dealt another blow to Colm, that would have come in the form of us killing off his hero earlier, which, I mean, that was pretty serious. So, all in all, though, very, very nice outcome from that battle, and I'm very glad I spent the gold on the units out of that inn. That actually helped a lot. So now, what do I want to do here? We could just absorb the human city. We could also migrate it, which would only take a couple of turns, honestly. If we wanted to migrate it to Shadow Elves, it would literally just take one turn. Of course, that would give us some evil alignments, so maybe absorbing would be the right choice. You know, this is going to be a frontline city where we're going to have units kind of stationed, so whether we decide to absorb it or not, we can figure that out next episode. So let's just zoom out and take a look. There it is. We have Sassistan now. And you can see here that we have eyes on the domain of another city. So we know where to go next, and we're bringing in the cavalry here with our cannons. We just produced this cannon, who I'm going to send up to join this one here. So we're bringing our units up to Sassistan, and then we're going to move over and just continue rolling on Colm. And then, of course, we have Welby over here who can mount kind of an offensive from the other side. We can hopefully employ a bit of a pincer tactic. And then once we've got that achieved, hopefully we can then start working our way north kind of up this way and sweep across the board kind of in one big move kind of up this way. And in the meantime, we have Pimpton over here, and maybe eventually we're also going to send Warmaster Habby, and we can send them up kind of north this way, and we can have, again, sort of a pincer move where one facet of our forces moves north along the kind of this way and then sweeps to the east afterwards, whereas the other one is going to kind of continue moving east and then move north, and we'll end up meeting kind of in the northeast corner of the map. In any case, you know, that's getting ahead of ourselves, but we've actually achieved quite a bit here, so I'm very, very pleased with the outcome of that battle. We're gonna save this one. We're gonna call this one episode 15. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.